Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton facing off over the economy, health care, and foreign policy. So, who came out ahead? And here to grade them, Democratic Ohio State Senator Capri Cafaro and former Missouri GOP Chairman Ed Martin. Thank you both for joining us this morning.
Absolutely. Good morning.
All right, so let's begin with the economy. At the count of three, raise up your paddle. Who you think did best in one, two, three? All right. Ed, we'll start with you this time. Why do you think that Donald Trump did best when it came to the economy?
You know, I think when you listen to Trump, and I was in the hall and you kind of watched it without commentators or anything, what you heard is a couple of just facts. I mean, his tax plan, I think, is clear to business owners, to individuals, makes a lot of sense. But I also thought the other areas where I think voters will understand on the economy, understood where we are. One is energy costs. He got a question from a participant about energy costs, and he had real things to say about lowering the cost and how to change it. The other one is regulations in general and how we need to get rid of regulations. And we're going to get to Obamacare and health care, but I think those things made people understand he's got a grasp of the economy, and Hillary was talking sort of in Hillary speak. I think it was a real Trump win.
Capri, what do you think in terms of the economy? Who handled it best?
Well, as you saw, I split the baby, as I did in the last segment. But I do think that this was by far Donald Trump's best performance of the evening. He did show a command of the issues surrounding the economy, surrounding taxes, surrounding regulatory reform. But at the same time, Hillary Clinton, I think her message resonated more with voters, particularly those that are middle income, that are looking for, an opportunity for the quote unquote, individuals to pay their fair share. And she also focused on having basically a trade prosecutor, which is something that I think is very important in the context of this election, as we've been so focused on trade and its role in the economy.
Yeah, specifically some of your constituents in your area of the country.
That's right, in Ohio.
Yeah, let's move to foreign policy. The count of three. 1, 2, 3. Who did best? All right, Ed, once again, of course, you're saying Donald Trump. And why do you think he did best? At one point, he talked about Hillary Clinton. He hit her on not using the term, radical Islamic terrorism.
Well, you're reading my mind. I actually was thinking, as I mentioned, the thing about this topic, the question of security in America, and I think a lot of folks, we're here in St. Louis area, sort of people who are soccer moms and all that sort of standard thing, they're worried about security. Donald Trump named the enemy, and even when he was given a choice of trying to take on Syria and do other things, he said, first we've got to get rid of ISIS. People want a leader when it comes to foreign policy that is not going to be a world kind of governor, but someone who's going to look at American interests first. And I think on that one, Islamic terrorism, fundamentalism, the question of terrorism, he was strong, and it was contrasting with Hillary, and I think that's why he won on it.
Yeah, Capri, when it came to what Hillary Clinton had to say, she said that the way to defeat ISIS is to create this coalition of the majority of Muslim nations.
Right, and I think that that's reflective of her experience as Secretary of State and a former United States Senator as well. I think that she has a better grasp on the reality of the complexities of our global partners and what it takes to actually defeat terrorism. And I think that Donald Trump was all over the board. I mean, he was all over the board on Syria, all over the board on Russia, and I think that it reflected his inexperience in this area.
All right, so let's talk finally about health care. Count of three. Who do you think won that? 1, 2, 3. There you go. Ed, once again, you think that Donald Trump did best in this area. He, of course, said repeal and replace.
Right. Well, listen, I think it was a big night for Trump. He won the whole debate, so no, if I look like I'm picking him every time. But on this question, what he really came at Hillary and he said, this is a great example of his point. He was saying, you've been here 30 years. You pursued an agenda for 30 years. You haven't made things better. On this question, she's been pushing for a single payer. In her WikiLeaks and the speeches, she's now said in one setting she wants a single payer, in others she talks about other things. What he's saying is we have to change the system that they've made so bad. And I think repeal and replace makes a lot of sense, and it resonates with voters.
Sorry to cut you off. We're about to run out of time. Capri, just have to get your response very, very quickly.
Well, I mean, Hillary, I think, did a much better job. I've spent my entire adult life in healthcare policy, and it's much more complex and nuanced than just repeal and replace. You got to have a plan, and she had a much more nuanced plan that she presented yesterday to the American public.
All right. Ed, Capri, thank you both for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.